Okay, guys, so we're here to do the second part of the wrestling edition of this week. Few announcements here. It was announced officially yesterday that they're doing a Hulk Hogan movie, and it is going to incorporate Bradley Cooper and the director, who also has done movies like Thor and Iron Man and a few other movies as well. And it sounds like Chris, the actor Chris, what is his name? He played Thor. I can't remember his last name. But he's officially going to be playing Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon has been asked to be in the movie. It sounds like they're going to be going through with this. It should be a Netflix exclusive video uh, as of 2 years from now when it airs. Um, Not understanding the Netflix thing because there's no WWE programming even on Netflix. I would have thought it would have made more sense to be aired on Hulu or on the WWE network, but hey, whatever, it's Hollywood. You don't really know what to expect. So, with that being said, what do you guys think about a Hulk Hogan movie being made with Bradley Cooper being involved in it and the actor that played Thor as Hulk Hogan, plus a cameo possibly by, Vince McMahon? Um, Another big announcement by WWE headquarters was that it really does sound like we're not going to have the match that we originally wanted between Triple H and Batista. It sounds like both parties are not coming to an agreement. So it sounds like we're not going to be having that match because they would have already built some type of a rivalry towards it. It sounds like Daniel Bryan will be defending the WWE Championship against a returning Kevin Owens at WrestleMania instead of a Batista or a Undertaker. So it sounds like we will be getting that match instead of him versus Undertaker or Batista. So with that, um, it sounds like the other matches that will be basically announced as weeks go on after Fastlane. Kofi Kingston will get his rematch against Daniel Bryan going into the next pay per view March 10th. With that being said, The Miz and Shane McMahon will be getting their rematch against the Usos in Cleveland, Ohio, March 10th, ladies and gentlemen, at Fastlane. So, with that, what are we really expecting in this match? Well, we could either see Miz and McMahon regain the championships and then go on to WrestleMania and defend them against like the Bar, or you know, who even knows at this point? We don't really know what tag team could step up to challenge the tag team champions, whoever they will be at that point in time. There was also an issue with Naomi and one of the Uso brothers, which is her husband. I think it's Jimmy Uso. I think, or is it Jay? I think it may be Jay. I'm not sure. Either one. But what happened was there was an incident in Detroit before Elimination Chamber where they were pulled over. There was alcohol in the vehicle. Both of them got in trouble with the law. They were released before the pay per view, so there wasn't really any major consequences, no punishment by WWE, which makes not a whole lot of sense in this situation. Because normally they make a big deal about that, and they do a press conference normally, and they'll suspend talent. So I'm not quite understanding what's going on with that. We don't really know whether they're going to pay for it later or what's happening. Um, right now, Asuka is supposed to defend her women's championship at Fastlane. It sounds like against Mandy Rose. So we don't really know who her opponent is going to be going into WrestleMania as of right now. So that's kind of up in the air. Um, and SmackDown, we had a pretty decent show. Again, we had Aleister Black, Ricochet, in DIY. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling had matches on SmackDown. We got to see Andrade Cien Omos. We got to see Eric Young for the first time in how long, guys? Eric Young hasn't been on TV in months, possibly even half a year. Um, I thought that his match was pretty good on SmackDown. In fact, I think Eric Young is perfectly capable of having a match against Ricochet later on, honestly, for a championship. I would even throw Eric Young and Killian Dane or Alexander Wolf into that tag team picture at Mania. Have it be like a ladder match or a TLC match, and throw them involved with the Usos in the bar, or even Nakamura and Rusev. We don't even know what's happening with Nakamura and Rusev. I mean, they haven't really announced anything for them to do at WrestleMania. Um, and we've not even had a United States Championship match in several weeks, so we don't even know whether R-Truth is going to be defending that title at Mania or not at this point. Nothing has even been announced on the website as far as what's happening with that situation. Um, it sounds like the triple threat match is still on for the women's championship on Raw. It does sound like Becky Lynch will be walking out of WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen, with that championship. And Ronda Rousey will be officially taking at least 3 to 4 months off before coming back to the WWE. Spoiler alert there. So NXT, I thought was a solid show this week. I was very impressed. Great competition, great moves on the general manager part. The North American Championship changed hands. Our new champion, the one and only Velveteen Dream. He is the official new champion. So Johnny Wrestling is not going to be defending that championship at TakeOver before WrestleMania. It sounds like they might be having him face somebody else, or he might even be competing at WrestleMania. We don't really know at this point in time what Triple H is going to be doing with this situation. Like I said, they've already announced the original Hart Foundation being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then DX, obviously, they don't have anybody else announced yet. We're going to be finding out over the next few weeks here. Now, Double or Nothing, Cody Rhodes just made an announcement this past week saying that the over-budget Battle Royale, which happened at All In last year in Chicago, will be happening at Double or Nothing this year. It sounds like they're just going to be grabbing independent talent. No, known superstars will be competing in this battle royal. It sounds like it's all going to be international and independent talent that nobody really knows who they are, other than maybe 3 or 4 people. I kind of like it that way because you're actually building your company from the ground up, and you're building a lot of international talent and incorporating it into, a wrestling program. It sounds like they've got a lot of negotiating with TV deals going on right now. I've heard a lot of things about TBS, TNT. So far, those seem to be the main networks that are interested in airing AEW. That's all I know right now. I had an opportunity to watch this week's past episode of Ring of Honor, which I was really impressed with. I thought the match between the Briscoes, Chuck E.T. and Colt Cabana, I thought was an amazing tag team match. I really enjoyed the 6-man tag team as well, involving who was it? I think it was Kenny King was in that match. Rip Titus The other people that were in the match, I'm not really quite sure who any of them are yet. I haven't been keeping up with Ring of Honor. I need to kind of get more involved into each wrestler and know them a little bit more. Um, this week's episode of Impact, I finally finished it. I also watched Explosion for the first time in years. Um, so what I'll say about Impact is that they're really developing their talent. They're getting better. I like the fact that Rosemary is back now. Maybe we'll have some type of some, hardcore ladder match or something, tables match between her and Sue Young, or Dark Alley or Bunny Alley. I don't know what she's called now. Um, but what I've noticed is they're really pushing Brian Cage, and I'm totally fine with that. Actually, I think that having Tommy Dreamer in the background with writing and producing, with a bunch of the other talent that have been there, um, I don't see it as being a bad thing. I think Impact is doing what they need to do as of right now to progress going into their event, building towards their huge pay per view, which should be here in the next few months. Um, with that being said, I also had an opportunity to watch 205 Live for the first time, and I don't know how long. And I have been very impressed with 205 Live. I had a lot of fun watching this week's episode. I dig the fact that they're building this tournament to have Buddy Murphy have a worthy opponent at WrestleMania. I really enjoyed the first round matches so far. I really thought that the Kanellis match, where he fought Cedric Alexander, was a really good, up to par match. I was really excited to see Mike Kanellis compete. Uh, and I got to be honest, I don't think WWE should let this guy go. This guy can wrestle. He needs to be pushed. That's just my opinion. Him and Cedric Alexander need to be pushed a lot more than what they are. The same thing with TJP. I think that he's an amazing talent for that division. He needs to be pushed. Humberto, I think he's an amazing talent as well. He needs to be pushed a lot more. Uh, Kalisto, totally, absolutely. Any member of the Lucha House Party, I think, should be pushed as well. Um, so I think that we're going to get a fair, even match for WrestleMania with the Cruiserweight Championship, and I think that that's what the fans deserve. Uh, Comment in the section below on who you think Buddy Murphy should face at this year's WrestleMania. Who do you think is going to win this tournament? Um, Obviously, Kanellis was eliminated, and so was TJP. So we'll have to see as of next week what happens with those other matches being booked. Anthony Nese is another person who could obviously win this tournament, hands down. He's an amazing talent. Um, Let me think here. I've been keeping up a little bit with NXT UK. I really enjoy it. I think that they're building that brand the way they should as well. Um, New Japan, I like what they're doing right now too. They're really incorporating, their talent from the dojo. They're bringing in some other talent from the independent scene. Um, Overall, I think Fastlane for WWE is going to be a good event. Some people are saying it's going to be not worth watching. I disagree. I think that there's some matches being booked for it that will really depend on what's happening at WrestleMania. Um, Let me see. Who do I think will end up winning at Fastlane? I think The Miz and Shane McMahon will probably defeat the Usos. Asuka, I think, is going to win. That should be a pretty easy win for her. if Rousey does compete at Fastlane, she probably would take on like Lacey Evans, or I want to say maybe like Alexa Bliss, or even maybe one of the members of the Riot Squad. Um, I don't think she's gonna lose. I think she'll probably win and go on to WrestleMania and have the triple threat match like we all, think it's gonna happen. But hey, whatever. It's WWE. You never know. So, with what I've just reported, what news do you guys know that I might not know about? I've heard a lot of things about Ty Dillinger demanding his release from WWE on social media. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. He will be a free agent. I've heard rumors about Dean Ambrose being contacted by AEW, an interest there, with him possibly eventually moving to their product. The Ric Flair birthday bash is Monday Night Raw, his 71st birthday bash. So, with that, keep it real, keep it focused, and we're here for one thing and one thing only, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the love for professional wrestling. Peace.